I was growing up in an environment where women are equal or even stronger than men. Fashion is a part of respect to myself, respect to my body as a temple. Anything that happens for a good reason. I'm really enjoying my life right now, just waking up and feeling happy almost every day. I believe that spirituality is a shortcut to success and many things in life.
Hello and welcome to one more episode of Passionpreneur Podcast. My name is Gadhvi, and as you know, life is not complete if you focus only on one pillar of life, which is finance, business, and money. You have all different areas of life that you must conquer slowly and gradually, which includes the emotional and mental pillar. Then you have physical pillar of your life, your spiritual pillar, your finances, and the social relationship. And as you know, we bring amazing guests on the show who have been phenomenal in their life and they've grown holistically. This is the club only for people who are in 0.01%. This is the league of 0.01% people who are holistically successful, or at least trying to get into that club. So welcome to the show. And today's episode is special because we have a person who has grown not just as an individual, as an influencer, also as a businesswoman who has created multiple businesses, starting from online magazine, fashion magazine, to jewelry brand, to the fashion brand. And she has fascinated me because she's traveling the world, living a great life, having a great food, and also inspiring so many people out there. Let's welcome on the show, Alina.
Hi guys, I'm Alina Dyachenko. I'm the CEO and founder of Chic magazine, Dakini Jewellery, and Chic by Mazarin fashion brand. You're watching Passionpreneurs going from ordinary to legendary.
Alina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It
Great.
was a wonderful speech.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. So tell us, what was your definition of success when you were growing up? You almost go back in time you just finished your schooling or education and just getting started. What was your definition of success then? And what is your definition of success now?
I would say it is pretty much different
Mm-hmm.
because when I was growing up, when I just finished the school, I would say my definition of success would be connected more with financial part, with career, I would say. This was most of my focus. Right now, my definition of success would be to be in balance with yourself, to be a balanced and a happy person, because there are so many people who are successful in a financial part of their life, who are successful in their career, but they're not happy. They don't feel in harmony with themselves. They don't feel in harmony with the world. And most importantly, they cannot enjoy their life and what they're doing. And this is not a success life for me, definitely.
And when did that shift started to happen that you realized that, having money is good, but having money with no happiness is a very shallow life? When did you start to learn this and how did you discover that?
To be honest, I've been always on a spiritual part of my journey. Maybe this part when I was thinking that financial part is important is coming from my childhood, because I'm coming from a noble family. But unfortunately, when my grandfather, when he was small, they lost everything. And maybe this struggle in the childhood affected me a little bit. So because knowing how they used to live before and what they had before, and then the shift,
So they were wealthy and they lost the wealth?
They're wealthy and the wealth was taken from them because they lived in Soviet Union. And as you know, in Soviet Union times, the aristocracy, the noble families, they were not really welcome. And those who stayed in Soviet Union, they basically lost everything because the wealth was privatized by the government. It was taken by the government.
Right.
So my family, for example, they had a big castle, a factory in a small city, but still, and it was taken from them. My grandfather, though, he was never mad about it or angry about it, but it's so pity because he had a great education. He was a very intelligent person, and because of this struggle, he ended up working in a factory, and he died very early at the age of 55 because of a heart attack caused by these very hard
Times.
working conditions, so maybe because of that, I had this, in my mind about financial part that I have to probably win back the wealth of my family
Oh,
as
wow.
as the older child.
Hmm.
Maybe because of that. But I've always been like on spiritual part. I grew up with my grandmother. She was a very big believer in God, so she taught me everything. So I always had the spiritual part as well.
Hmm.
But at some point of my life, I felt like I need to win back the kind of this financial respect of my family as well. That's why I was concentrated on that. But then eventually I shifted back to this spiritual mindset and realizing that actually both are important,
Hmm.
material and spiritual, and the balance between both.
Yeah, I think, this the bigger part of our life at the beginning of our years is shaped by the childhood that we've had. We go through a lot of traumas or challenges as a child. Now, trauma doesn't mean always a bad and drastic thing. It could be soft traumas as well. And then
Hmm.
that shapes your inner world, inner child. And then
Definitely.
whatever you are inside that actually shows up outside. And if you have some unresolved things within that shows up outside, it will not lead to a happy and healthy life. So
Definitely.
let's do the analysis of your life in all the five pillars. How would you rate yourself, out of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest in each area? Let's start with mental and emotional pillar. How would you rate yourself today?
Mental and emotional, I would say quite high.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to deal with my emotions in most of the cases.
Mm.
I know how to control them in a good way, how to be balanced with them. So I would say 8 out
Eight.
of 10.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And let's say physical fitness or physical.
Lately I improved a lot. So I would say also 8.
Lovely.
8, yeah.
Let's talk about spirituality.
I think I'm really working hard on this part. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say 9.
Nine.
It's not like I reached, I don't know, I'm a
Epitome.
guru or something,
Yeah.
but comparing to myself from yesterday and today,
Beautiful.
I would say 9. Always
Beautiful.
comparing to myself, not comparing to
Absolutely.
anyone else.
Absolutely. That's what spirituality is,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Good. Financially.
Financially, I would say 7.
Mhm.
Still, for me, from a personal point of view,
Because you're not
still
won your castle back yet.
not yet, exactly. I'm not sure if it's possible though, because it belongs to
Yeah,
government
I know.
now.
But you
But
can
still,
buy
you
a
can
castle
try.
somewhere.
Maybe,
Somewhere.
yeah. And the
Good.
factory as well.
In the factory as well, yes. And the last pillar, which is the social relationship. How would you rate yourself?
Social, I would say 7 as well.
Hmm.
Um, not that much time, perhaps, to improve significantly in this area, but
Mhm.
I'm doing also my part here. Yeah.
Interesting. So, if you had to go back in time to relive your life again, what are the things that you will change today to live a different life? What are the changes that you will make early on in your life that you will reap rewards now?
So I would say those things are connected more with my thinking
Hmm.
and not mental health, but probably understanding some things better. So I would say, as a woman, as a person, I would definitely value myself more. I would love myself more, and I would not be comparing myself to anyone else, which is really important.
Were you in a habit of doing that in the past?
Yeah, especially as a woman growing up. In Russia, we have this culture of, let's say, having many beautiful women around, and not that much of men, not that much choice of men, and I
Is
would
that so? Not a good lot of
now
choice
it's a
of
bit
men?
different, but before it was like this because after the Second World War,
Oh.
we
Men will
lost,
go for
yeah, we lost
fighting.
almost 20 million people. Imagine. So
No.
there were and most of them were men, obviously, like 80-90% were men.
Hmm.
So there were lack of men. So like my grandmothers, my mother, they were growing up with this idea that there are less men than women, and it. I cannot say that it was a big struggle, but in some way in society there are some like certain things that you notice,
So
you
you
know
have
what I
to be in the
mean.
competition,
Exactly,
knowingly, consciously, subconsciously
exactly,
competing with other
exactly.
women.
So you grow up in a environment knowing that you are competing with all the women,
Mm.
which is really bad. That made myself comparing to other women in my circle, outside of my circle, and it's not nice to compare yourself to anyone else, not
Mm.
for man, not for a woman.
Yeah.
Men don't do it much, by the way.
Is
Only
it?
maybe when it comes to money.
Young people compare. He's more successful than me.
Yeah,
He's
exactly. Who
making more
has
money
better
than me.
car, who has like better house, this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Or very materialistic things
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
compare.
yeah.
That's right.
But not like competing for a woman. This is not the case.
Mm.
But a woman would be competing with each other for men, subconsciously at least, for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for attention.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So that's something that you'll change, right?
Definitely, definitely. So when I was growing up as a teenager, my early 20s, I would say, yeah, I would definitely change it. That would make my life much more happy and easier.
Mm, mm. Because of that, did you go through some tough times because of comparison, competitiveness? Did you go through some swamps or dark times because of that? Or
Yeah, I went through some up and downs. So, I might not I might not show it, but I'm quite sensitive person. I might be quite emotional. I can get offended. I could get offended quite easily at some
Mm,
certain times. So, yeah, it was a little bit tough in this sense.
mm,
Probably not as tough as to most of people, perhaps, but I'm just comparing myself with myself in the past.
yeah.
So I would say at that time, yeah, it was a bit emotional struggle, a bit of emotional struggle. Yeah, at that
And
time.
and how you used to come out of that at that time?
At
What
that
used to
time,
was there some self-destructive, habits that you used to have? A lot
no,
of people
no.
have that
You know what?
overeating
You
and
know what? It could be sweet tooth. Could be,
mm.
but I still love sweets.
But
So maybe
now
that's not the case. I'm not sure.
interesting. Okay, so that is one thing. Anything else would you like to change?
So yeah, this is all connected like with self-confidence and just value on yourself, and also I think very important positive thinking. It's a very good thing to train yourself to think positively always, to know that anything that happens for a good reason.
Hmm.
Even if you think at the moment that this is something really bad, you should really set your mind in such a way to understand that everything that happens is going to lead you to something better. So even if you lose something right now, the universe will bring you something better um, soon, at some
How
point.
do you acquire this thinking? Because it's easier said than done. When let's say
Exactly.
somebody lost, somebody, let's say relationship, they broke off, or the business went down and they had to shut down.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
so good in this? How do I think about this?
So I cannot say that I really mastered this thinking
Hmm.
because I'm not a guru. I'm still probably far away from that, but I succeeded in this sense. It's all about trust. Trust to God, if you believe in God, trust to the universe. So, yeah, it's just about the trust. You
Mm.
just have to go with the flow, and just to realize that the universe loves you, that the God loves you, and you will not experience something which you cannot handle.
Mm. That's true. That's true. How did you get into fashion? How did you, is this, I'm assuming this fashion, is more of your passion. It gives you more fulfillment. Is that true? Is that you're completely aligned towards what you're doing today?
Well, this is my creative part,
Okay.
fashion and jewelry.
Yeah.
I love creativity. In terms of fashion, I've been always attracted by fashion since my childhood, even. I was doing ballroom dancing professionally. Starting from my childhood,
Hmm.
and if you know what ballroom dancing is, it's
Yeah.
when you compete, you like dress up very nicely in all
Yeah.
these amazing clothes,
Yes.
costumes with feathers, with Swarovski crystals or whatever. It's all really pretty, and most of the costumes that you wear, you actually take part in creating those costumes.
Mm.
So I picked it up from the early childhood, and also very important part, because I'm a big fan of Russian literature, and of
Hmm.
course in Russia we have a big heritage in this sense, and we have an amazing writer, Maxim Gorky.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was reading his books in early childhood, he had this very interesting philosophical point that in a human, everything shall be beautiful: the heart, the soul, and the appearance.
Mm.
So you should treat your body and the way you cover your body in a special way. With respect to yourself.
Mm.
So for me, fashion is a part of respect to myself, respect to my body as a temple. So, and of course, creative part.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you living a fulfilled life today?
Fulfilled life.
Yeah.
I would say so. I'm quite happy, to be honest.
Mm.
I'm quite happy. There are a few things probably that I'm missing, but I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now. You know, I'm really enjoying my life right now, just waking up and feeling happy almost every day, which is a great result actually
That's
for
a
me.
beautiful thing. That's a beautiful success. Like, when you wake up with the, smile and happiness, that itself is the fulfillment and joy.
Yeah.
What are the areas that you're personally working on, which is like a work in progress? So we are imperfect beings, right? We're not perfect.
Of course.
So what are the areas of your life that you're working on and you're conscious about those?
So I'm working always hard on self-awareness part and spirituality part of my personality.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that spirituality is a shortcut to success in many things in life,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it in this way. So I always work through different instruments on these parts of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of instruments do you work on?
Well, first of all, let's say most common one is meditation,
Mhm.
obviously.
Mhm.
I also love sacral geometry. It's when you draw sacral signs, like the seed of life, the cube of Metatron. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. You just don't know that those are sacral
No,
geometry.
I don't know much about this sacral. Tell me more about this.
So basically, the universe consists of sacral geometry. You
Mhm.
know, the pi, the pi number,
Yeah,
3.444.
Yes.
Everything is basically combination of this.
Mhm.
And sacral geometry is all about that, just a combination of symbols which are in perfect harmony with the universe,
Mm.
So the Egyptian pyramids were built with sacral geometry, many
Interesting.
temples, I mean, many things in life. And,
Oh, okay.
and everything which is created by nature also done with sacral geometry, like the seed flower
Yes.
and many other things.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Anything apart from that you're working on in spirituality?
Yeah, there is some very interesting techniques of breathing,
Mm.
which helps you to come to meditative set of mind, to calm down, to improve your health as well, to get rid of some blocks in your body through breathing.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's very important to work on physical part through massages, also to get rid of your blocks, because emotions, they get stuck in your body and it results in some block and some pain in the body. So it's very important to do some massages as well
Yeah.
to get rid of these blocks, because they might stuck in your body and that might cause even some diseases
or illness.
you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's very interesting. The other day we had a session of Passion for the Millionaires where we were all talking about these energy blocks.
Mm.
That how right from the childhood we have these energy blocks. Then somebody has, energy blocks in terms of, when they were growing up, they were raised in a certain way
Mhm.
and they perceive that money is bad, or my parents don't love me, I'm not good enough. We have different blocks that we have. And as we're growing up, those blocks show up in different areas of your life.
Mhm.
And then it may turn into physical ailment. Somebody's like chronic, back pain. When doctor goes and scans it, like there's nothing, back pain. Everything is normal.
Mhm.
But they cannot see it as not a physical block. It's an energetic block.
Right.
So I like what I really like what you're saying. Those energy blocks can be removed by doing the meditation, deep work, understanding.
Massage.
Massage.
But you have to know like the right masseuse to do that.
Is it?
It could be, it's not any masseuse who can do that. They should know. Yeah.
They should know the right.
Yeah, should know there.
Interesting.
Also, another great thing how to get rid of blocks and emotional blocks, and just to work on your energetic centers, which are chakras.
Mhm.
Also, you can do it through essential oils.
Mhm.
Essential oils, they vibrate on high vibrations. I mean, it's another, it's totally different story.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go deep in that, but it's just some certain essential oils can help you with some certain problems, you know.
Really?
Yeah, like if you, for example, apply rose oil, a
Mm-hmm.
pure essential rose oil to your heart chakra,
Mm-hmm.
you will easily get rid of some blocks in that area, some offenses, I don't know, different stuff.
That's interesting. I actually did not know. Massage is something new for me. This
Mm,
oil,
yeah.
is also very interesting for me. Good, good. Did you go through a lot of dark times, tough times in life, or your life has been more normal, good,
So
happy?
I would say I'm quite positive person in general. So
Mm,
I went some difficult times. I would say I wouldn't call them tough times, but I can say that I've been quite lucky, and also uh, believe in good. So probably that helped me a lot. So when I probably face some difficulties, I don't see them in a negative way.
mm.
At least I try to. So it helps me a lot.
How did you develop this positive attitude? Because a lot of people are not like that, and especially people watching this, they want to start a business, they want to grow in life, they want to have holistic success, but something comes their way and they give up and they're like, oh man, tough time, life is difficult. So how do you develop this positive optimistic thinking? Have you had this right from the childhood automatically in you, or did you actually develop it over a period of time? And if so, what did you exactly do?
So with me, it was spiritual development, I would say. That's why I said that the spirituality for me is a shortcut to success in
Mm,
many ways in your life. So when I started to go deeper in that through different techniques, through reading some literature, so when you understand who you are, why you're here, and all these deeper things in life, then you start thinking in a different way.
so tell me, who are you and why are you here?
This is probably from for a different podcast.
No, but it's interesting. People want to know. You guys want to know, right? Who is she and why are you here on this earth?
Yeah, this is probably for a podcast with Sadhguru or something of the sort.
No, but we have a lot of
I'm not
audience are
sure.
spiritual as well. My
Yeah.
audience is spiritually aware because we talk a lot about spirituality, energy. And by the way, I've been fortunate to meet Sadhguru. I was invited by him
Amazing.
to be one of the guests. Very few small group of influencers. I've been there. I've done Vipassana. I don't know if you know about Vipassana. I've been to Vipassana. It's like
Oh,
an
amazing.
ancient meditation technique used by
Mm-hmm.
Buddha, which is
Mm-hmm.
2,500-year old. So you go like 10 days in, complete um, silos. You disconnect from the world. You go all internal world, and you start observing yourself and your thoughts and your beliefs
Mm-hmm.
through the patterns that you have. It starts from the breathing, observing the breath,
Mm-hmm.
to the bodily sensations, and then you start realizing, is this how I am? Is how I am? So I've gone through a lot of my students have gone through those spiritual practices as well. Right now, as we speak, I'm also learning Raj Yoga. It's from Brahma Kumari. So Raj Yoga, ancient way of looking at life and soul and how this all higher power and universe is connected as well. So our audience is quite familiar, right?
Okay.
So they will
Okay.
be able to
Great.
handle this. So have you realized who you are and why you're born? Have you realized that for yourself, or you have some direction?
On a spiritual level, definitely.
Yeah.
So those are the basics. So when you realize that you are eternal soul, that you are part of God energy,
Yeah.
uh, that you are kind of God as well for yourself,
Yeah.
in a sense that you can create anything that you want.
Yeah. God is like somebody you create, like you're a creator for your own life. So you are in a way
Yes,
like a demigod or pseudo god yourself.
exactly. And that basically we are all the same, we are all connected to each other. So when you do something bad for anyone else, you do something bad for yourself, first of all. So when you realize those basic things, then you start to think in a different way automatically.
Mm. Yeah, I think we go from one dimensional view of what we have been told and what you have
Hmm.
seen to a multi-dimensional view, like
Hmm.
different verse
Hmm.
that we all souls connected
Hmm.
to each other
Hmm.
through the cosmos. That's very
Exactly,
interesting.
exactly, an energetic way. I mean, it sounds quite simple, but for many people, it's really hard to realize it and to understand because you need explanation.
Yes.
They need scientific explanation. How does it work exactly? I'm not sure. Not this type of things. For me, at some point, I really love this phrase in Latin, which translates something like "I believe to understand." because some certain things you cannot explain. Our science is not that advanced yet to explain some certain things. So in order to believe, in order to understand like these basic statements, you're just supposed to believe,
Yeah.
you know?
Because there's no logical reasoning that,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
this is stable, I can see it, I can touch and feel. There's a logic.
Yeah,
But where's the soul? I can't see it, right? You
exactly.
can't touch it. You can't feel the soul. So it's just that you believe, and whatever you believe, you will start understanding and you start having experience.
Our mind cannot understand some certain things, which are normal.
Yeah,
Which is normal. Yeah.
that's fantastic. Now let's shift the conversation from spiritual and energetic conversation to financial, right? When did you start your business, and was it easy for you to start a business, and how did you end up having 3 different businesses and still living a great life 6 Sundays a week? I call the life that every day is Sunday. I see you, going shopping, I go you dancing, and you eating some goody stuff and traveling the world. How did your financial journey actually evolve to this place, and what did you do to get to this place?
I started my first business probably 10 years ago. So let me explain you just briefly. So after my BBA, I did 2 MBAs in Barcelona.
My God, you're so educated. Feel like I'm so illiterate right now. 2 degrees, okay. What happened then?
I would say probably the second one was forced, because at that time it was a little bit difficult to get a residency visa in Europe. So I kind of was forced to do it because I wanted to stay in Barcelona. It was an amazing city back at that time. Still, it's beautiful, but
I've
back
been there.
at
It's a
that
beautiful
time,
city.
it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
So I had to do my second MBA because of that. And just after my first MBA, I started to work for a luxury lifestyle magazine. So just after my studies, I got into media business. So it was something very natural for me. But after some time, to be honest, I got a little bit bored because of the management in the magazine. Basically, I reached the position of international director, and I was traveling the world, opening franchise offices in different countries. I also actually lived in India for a couple of months, maybe 3-4 months, opening a franchise office in Delhi of our magazine.
Lovely.
It was a beautiful experience. And then after some time, I just a little bit got tired of this industry. So I shifted to some import-export business with some of friends of mine from Dominican Republic. I moved to Dominican Republic at that time. So I was doing import-export business. I also got involved. I also had a small share in cigar company, which is
Cigar
really,
company.
yeah,
Interesting.
interesting part of my life. But then after some time, I shifted again to media business because I felt like I'm really good in it. I'm really enjoying it. So first I got the franchise of another luxury lifestyle magazine. But then after some time that I realized that I can create something better. And then I realized that I should do my own brand. So 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I started my brand, which is Chic Icon. And it was my, let's say, first big business. I would say conscious business. And for me, it wasn't just a business. It is not just a business. It's just like my hobby, because I really enjoy what I'm doing. My work is always fun. It's creative. I travel a lot for work. I meet very interesting people through my work. So it's just, I don't really call it work, because
just
work
fun.
For me, it's
a very thin line
something
between work and
boring.
fun.
Yes, exactly. That's why maybe for someone who's like working, for someone who's doing what he's not enjoying, he might think probably that that I'm just enjoying every day and not working at all. But no, like every place that I go, most of the places I go for work, but at the same time I enjoy, because
So
this
you
is
club
something
the
fun
travel
for me.
and
Yeah,
work
exactly.
and fun.
Exactly. So traveling for me, for example, is the best thing in life. I really enjoy traveling. I cannot stay in one place for a long time. Like I've been in Dubai for 2 months already and I'm struggling. I'm traveling next week and I'm really, really, really looking forward for that. So I managed to make this part of my life my work.
Mm.
I managed to get money out of that, to earn money with that. And yeah,
And then you got into the jewelry brand and fashion brand.
yeah,
When
then I
did that happen?
got. So this is, as I said, this is my creative part of life. I've always been admiring beautiful jewelry.
Mm.
So since probably even 10 years, I had this idea of
Mm.
creating my own jewelry line of custom-made jewelry. And
And what does the snake signify? The snake, right?
the snake,
What
yeah.
does it signify?
Unfortunately, I'm not
You're
wearing
not
any of
wearing.
my
Come on,
jewelry.
you should be wearing
I
your brand
know,
everywhere.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So actually, the jewelry business for me is something also very personal. Everything I do is very personal, to be
Sure.
honest, but jewelry a little bit more because there is a spiritual part as well
Mm.
of it. So the brand is called Dakini,
Mhm.
and Dakini translates from Sanskrit. It's basically a female goddess, a manifestation of female energy,
Interesting. I
right?
like that.
Yeah. So the Kinis, those are goddesses that help people um, to go deeper in their consciousness, to work on their self-awareness, also to get inspiration in different parts of their life. So basically, the Kinis, these are all women goddesses. So I don't know, Egyptian Isis could be Dakini, Kali could be
Mm.
Dakini, Shakti. I mean, all the female goddesses, they're considered as Dakinis, right?
Bikinis. Yeah.
And with this, I just wanted to create some kind of, I don't know, manifestation that a woman who wears my jewelry, she absorbs this female goddess energy.
Mm.
And then she inspires herself in many things in life, and she inspires people around her in family, like children, husband, friends. Because after all, women have this power of um, not just inspiring other people, but also to impact on other people, right?
Mhm.
Because women usually in the family, she's in charge of education of her children and
Taking
her
care of
husband
them,
at
growing the husband.
some
Yeah.
point, right? So if you change a mentality and a thinking of a woman, then
Whole family and
yeah,
whole family tree changes. The generation changes.
yes,
That's
exactly,
actually true.
exactly.
Interesting.
And my first collection, which is called Aphidia, which translates from Sanskrit as snake, it's all about balance in life because, well, you've been Indian, you know what is Kundalini is.
Yeah.
So Kundalini is this balanced energy in your body. And this is manifestation to have balance in your life. Let's say balance between material and spiritual, but also snake, I believe, is a very common symbol in many cultures and religions, which stands for wisdom, immortality. So this is something quite common, let's say, to go deeper in spirituality.
That's very interesting. I
Yeah.
love how you have so much of clarity in what you're doing in jewelry business and your fashion business. It's so good. Did it happen overnight, or did you actually got into this clarity level? Because all of the people watching, one of the biggest reasons why most of the businesses actually fail, most of the people do not become financially successful, is lack of clarity. They do not have unique positioning, they do not have unique perspective. They just start one more brand, one more product, one more service. But the kind of heart that you've shown, the clarity that you've shown for your brand, I think that definitely is a lesson making a note of. So how did you get to this level of clarity?
It takes some time with me. For example, if we talk about my jewelry brand, so I had this very clear idea in my mind of spirituality and how I see this world, how I see this life. And basically, it's all based on my personal experience. I get inspired myself through those things, and I believe that I can inspire other people as well through these things.
Yeah, I think this is what a lot of people do not understand. When they're looking to, especially from financial energy point of view, business point of view, people usually look for things outside. what is the product, what is the service,
Yeah,
what
and they
can do.
should search inside.
Yeah,
Exactly.
all the answers are there already within you.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is your passion, your purpose, your mission, your heart? Where does your heart lie? Where's your energy lie? And you
Exactly.
start looking within, all the problems, or not the problem, but all the things and dots will start aligning outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Passion
what you have,
clicks.
you
Mm-hmm.
started experiencing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure you must be getting a lot of compliment for your jewelry business and fashion business as well.
I do, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're just starting, actually. We're just doing the marketing part. We're going to start the sales soon
Mm.
through both online and offline. We're going to do some very interesting events. Like if we talk about my jewelry, we're going to do um, spiritual events as well, because my jewelry is all about spirituality,
That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
like meditation sessions. We're gonna have. I also have very good friends of mine who are from Vedanta school,
Yeah, Vedanta.
Indian Vedanta school.
Beautiful.
So we're gonna have some lections on Vedanta and connect it with my jewelry. So many exciting things
That is beautiful. That
to
is
come.
beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you say to those entrepreneurs, especially the female entrepreneurs? It's a men's world in business that, for so many years. Now it's, of course, changing. A lot of, women entrepreneurs are coming in. What do you say to those female entrepreneurs? How should you start thinking about launching a business and growing your business? Any advice you have for those female entrepreneurs?
For me for example, it's a little bit strange question
Mm,
because I'm coming from a background where it is very natural.
mm,
I was growing up in an environment where women are equal or even stronger than men,
interesting.
because my grandmother, she's one of the most famous telecommunication engineers in Russia. She was one of the first academics in Russia of
Really?
telecommunication. She was a very, very big boss for many years,
Mm.
and she was not just working as with men or like on equal positions. She was managing men from military area.
Interesting.
So for me, when I was growing up, it was something supernatural.
Ah,
And also a good thing about Russia, about Soviet Union countries, that we have this equal system in education, both for men and women. So for example, my grandmothers, both of them, they have a couple of university educations. My grandmothers, comparing to, for example, to my friends from Spain, their grandmothers, they just did 7 classes at school. That's it, for example. So this
that's
is a
true.
big difference.
Yeah, in India also is like that. In India, most of the women were not educated at that time,
Exactly.
and few people got studies. And to start a business in India, being a female entrepreneur is difficult. Now people have started coming up.
Exactly.
That's interesting. So it's a different
So
perspective
for me,
and word.
so for me,
It's
it's something
natural.
very natural. So when people ask me how is it, I'm just like,
I don't know.
but we are all like
You're all equal. I don't know. There's no men,
exactly.
women.
We are equal. Women just have to realize that we are equal. That there is really no difference.
That's wonderful.
This is like a nonsense question in Russia, both for men and women. Really.
Interesting. Last couple of questions. If you have to give any piece of advice to people watching this to build a successful life, what things they should keep in mind, or any advice you have for people to live a successful life?
Well, first of all, you have to define for yourself what is successful life for you, right? You have to be clear about that. And then once you define it, I mean, just go for it.
Yeah, define success. And work hard. Beautiful.
Do some steps. But work hard doesn't mean always working hard in terms of
effort.
Physical effort. It could be also mental effort, spiritual effort, which is actually even more difficult.
Yeah,
because when people say work hard, they always think physical action, but it is not actually. First, you have to change your mind and mentality, and this is the most difficult part.
I wrote a book on this called 80% mindset, 20% skills. It's a life transformation in 9 days. Like 80% is the mindset, and then the skills will follow. Sure. But most of people just focusing on skills, but they don't have the mindset. Exactly. And that's where they struggle.
And also, I think it's also very important to understand that to change your mindset takes longer time than physical effort. So many people, they give up on this way because they think, okay, it's not working, it's taking too much time. So they don't have much patience. So I think it's very important to have patience for that and understand that it takes time. But once you fix it, then all the rest comes easily.
That's so true. That's so
Yeah.
true. Last question. If you had a chance to have dinner with somebody, you know,
Who's alive or dead?
alive or dead, anybody you can
Oh, I
choose.
know. I have a few.
Really few? Okay, tell me who are those few and why?
Nikola Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a big fan of him since early childhood. Like I've seen all the documentaries, I read all the books. Don't ask me why. I don't know, naturally.
They say that Nikola Tesla was more genius scientist than even Edison and other people. That's what they say.
For sure.
But he did not market himself to the level that
Exactly.
Edison and other people,
And
they
also
did.
because of many of his inventions, like wireless electricity, people didn't want it to come up. I mean, it still exists, wireless electricity. The technology is there, but of course, the oil company, electricity company, they don't want it to be revealed because they will not make any money. So I will not go. Shall I explain why, or
Yeah,
I just
go
name?
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can.
So what I really admire about him is not just his invention, but also his mindset as a personality. He was a very spiritual person, and I think he was the first one in the modern history who said, like, I take all my knowledge from this universal
Nature.
yeah,
Universe.
this universal like field of energy. Right now we would say like iCloud of universe of universe.
Yeah.
And anybody can get access to any kind of knowledge if they know how to connect with this
I
energetic
didn't know
field.
that part of Nikola Tesla. I thought he was a genius scientist.
No, he was very
more
spiritual. He was a very spiritual person, and in fact, one of my favorite mystic philosophers and writers, Helena Blavatsky, I got to know through Nikola Tesla. So when I was reading his biography, I got to know that he was a big fan of this Helena Blavatsky. And I was like, wondering how this type of a genius and scientist could be a fan of someone mystic, And then I started to read about her. And then I realized, and then I also got to know that Albert Einstein, he was also a big fan of her. He was reading all her books, and some of his research were based on her books. So this is the second person that I would love to meet, Helena Blavatsky.
Beautiful.
She actually lived many years in India, and she died in India. She was the leader and the founder of Theosophy school, which says basically that all the religions are the same. And they were trying to promote this idea that we are all the same, that all the religions are the same. They're just saying about basic things through different instruments, through different perspectives, but it's all the same in the end. So this is the second person. And the third person, perhaps Alexander the Great, Alexander Macedonian. I've always been a big fan of him as well. I think he's a very interesting personality from a perspective of view that at that time he was also thinking that we are all equal, and all the territories that he was conquering, he was basically, like, all the territories that he was conquering, he was treated in an equal way. He didn't think that he is better than others. That's why Persians, for example, loved him that much, even though they lost the war.
Yeah.
But they admired him. That's why Egyptians admired him, and he was worshipped as one of the pharaohs and the living god in Egypt.
Interesting.
So very, very interesting personality. But he died very young, at the age of 33, I think. So I would be very curious to meet him.
Very diverse people, very diverse people, from the scientists, spiritual gurus to the heroes and the more. Well, do you watch Bollywood movies, or have you seen?
I do,
Because there's a lot of Russians watch Bollywood movies.
Yeah, I know a few. I know a few really, really nice Bollywood movies.
Which ones?
I might pronounce it in the wrong way, but it's. I won't remember now.
Who's the hero?
This is basically Deepika Padukone with the man who's her husband now.
Yeah, Ranveer Singh.
It's an epic movie, historic epic movie.
Padmavati.
No, another one.
Two
names it was.
Is it the King, the movie of the King and the fighter? Or
Well, not the king, the general.
uh-huh.
The
Yeah, General.
general.
Yes, yes, yes.
The general.
Oh yeah, I like that movie. That's a
Yeah,
beautiful movie
it's
as
a
well.
beautiful movie. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful story and very beautiful
Oh,
production, the
that's such a
scenery and
beautiful movie.
everything.
How can I forget that? It was in Maharashtrian culture, one of the war hero. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that. Good, good. Very interesting. So thank you so much, Alina, for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom. I really,
My
really appreciate it.
pleasure.
So, guys, what is the one thing that really connected to your consciousness, to your soul? Since we spoke a lot about spirituality, energy, mindset, creativity, what is that one thing that really, stick through to you, and what are you going to do to implement or imbibe that in your life? Conversation these, like these, has ability to change your life, not just in finances, but in all the areas of your life: mental, physical, spiritual, and even social areas. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Make a little bit of effort to improve daily so that you can get into the club of 0.01% people who are holistically successful in life, which is about 8 lakh people, 800,000 people. Could be a Bill Gates, maybe there, may not be there, because just making more money doesn't mean that you are holistically successful. And remember, the definition of success, you got to be very, very clear on it. Is it just money or is it holistic life? This is Dave Gadhvi. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.